probably one of the best books ever written by a person. It won the award called the Pulitzer Prize, which is pretty much like the Oscars for books. Some have called it the timeless classic of growing up and the human dignity that unites us all, and I would agree with that. You see, To Kill a Mockingbird is about a girl named Scout. She lives in the South and has a brother named Jem, who has a broken arm. They live with their dad. Their last name is Finch, of course. Same as her brothers and her dad, but not her mom because her mom is dead. Atticus Finch is a lawyer, and he fights for justice. And they also have a slave named Calpurnio, so, you know, wherever you get that from is beyond me. They have this friend named Dill, who is not a pickle. And they also have this crazy neighbor named Boo Radley, who killed his dad and wants to kill all of them. That's why Dill wants to find him. One time, they go to his house, and Jem goes up and touches the house to show that he isn't an idiot. He doesn't. And they see the shutters move, because Boo Radley wants them all there. Well, this is when things start getting hazy, because the next morning, Scout and her friend and her brother decide to go looking for treasure. But too late. A pirate found it first. And who's this pirate, you ask? None other than Boo Radley, who wants him dead as much as he wants the treasure. Almost. So Boo Radley says to them, "Yar, now I have the treasure from the tree, and all you get is this ball of string and cloth that we put on the front cover." And then Scout, out of nowhere, says, "Not so fast, you pirate." It turns out she's actually not a girl at all, but a robot guy. The pirate says, "Yeah, right, the treasure's mine forever," and right when he's getting ready to fly away on his burning shark, the pirate yells, "No!" Because right then, a mockingbird, which is giant and has blades like a helicopter, swoops down and takes all the gold and gems. Except for the character named Jem, because he's worthless. The pirate says, "Yeah, right," and pulls out his musket. No, wait. It was a gun with lasers. Okay, a laser sword with guns on it that would shoot other swords. So the pirate mounts his burning shark, and he flies up to his floating pirate ship, which is full of cannons, missiles, and more pirates with awesome sword guns and plasma rifles. You could see the pirate logo glistening in the bright morning sun. There was a lens flare and motion blurs. The mockingbird's like, "Yeah, right, no one can kill a mockingbird." But can they? The mockingbird, which was now also on fire, but cold fire, began to fire lightsabers from its mouth. They were also burning. The pirates all said, "No way!" all at once. And their flying airship charged the mockingbird. "Load the cannons, mateys," the first mate said. They then loaded the cannons and fired everything they had, including most of the pirates, because they didn't have that much. But it's okay, because pirates are awesome like that. They probably survived the fall. "Shoot everything we have, mateys," the first mate said. It was, as Harper Lee knows, hardcore. After minutes, pure awesome, the smoke started to clear. The pirates were shocked to find the mockingbird was unharmed. In fact, it had grown another head, and this one was even bigger, and also on cold fire. Now the bird was angry and ready to kill. It opened its mouths like it was going to scream, but instead it just let out the most angry yell in history ever. The pirates said, "We're gonna explode!" And then they exploded, just like they predicted. You can see the author is using linear devices such as symbolism, dramatic irony, foreshadowing, and other symmetric processes. This is why it won the Pulitzer Prize, even though it was written by a woman. Her name is Harper Lee. She must be rich now. So anyways, the pirates started to fall to the ground even though they tried to climb on their burning sharks. Most of them fell and plummeted to the ground below. But survived because they're pirates! Now they were angry and ready for kill. This time, it was personal. So the pirates go up to Scout, the robot guy, who pretended to be a girl, who is the most important character in the book, and ask him to join forces. "Yeah, right," Scout says. "Not after you left me behind to not have treasure." But he joined him anyways, because only Scout thought it was possible. kill the Mockingbird. Only he believed in himself. Just then, Calpurnia, the mysterious slave woman I mentioned, approaches them and tells them about the ancient book called How to Kill a Mockingbird, except it was originally written in her native language. They learn there is only one remaining copy, and it is guarded deep in a ninja lair in ancient China. Now it was all hardcore. So instead of going straight to ancient China, they had to go back in time. Thankfully, Scout had that string and clock that I mentioned at the beginning of the novel. Using this clock, she was able to build a time machine, which was actually a time-traveling castle. They flew at warp speed around the Earth, and before they knew it, because it was fast, they had arrived at ancient China, where the ninjas were guarding the book, thus setting the stage for the climax of the story. The climax of a piece of literature typically follows a progressive rising action until it reaches a sort of resolution, and then it goes down to the damn wall, which is French for the end. It's a linear device, just like the ninjas. Then, the most awesome battle to end all battles begins. The ninjas all formed a line, and the biggest ninja of all stepped forward. And there was a lightning storm, lightning, and a whole lot of steam, and Zeus watched and laughed from Mount Olympus because he's immortal. The biggest ninja of all, whose name was Pizorlax the Seventh, steps forward and said in the most racially undertoned accent, "Alright! Like you all have a chance to win! Now I hope you're ready to be killed! By us!" At this point, they began to fight for 7 years. The pirates would be throwing angry bears that were on fire as their choice of artillery. Meanwhile, the ninjas would transform into dinosaurs, fireballs, and presidents. No, wait, not presidents, I meant volcanoes. They fought like that for 7 years. And when they were almost all on fire, the Mockingbird showed up to clean up his revenge. The pirates and ninjas realized that this 7 years of fighting was really stupid, and they joined forces against the Mockingbird. The ninja holding the book, How to Kill a Mockingbird, led the way. He opened the book and surprised them all. The only way to kill a mockingbird is by hitting it with the moon. So, the pirates and ninjas and fireballs and volcanoes and dinosaurs and bears and presidents all flew into deep space where the moon lived. It was an arduous task because the Mockingbird was already waiting there with his own army of undead mockingbirds to protect the moon from loosening from its orbit and colliding headfirst with the Mockingbird itself. So Scout took that string that I mentioned from the beginning of the book and used it to make a chain out of titanium, which was really strong, and used it to pull the moon by tying it to his castle time-traveling machine. The pirates were angry because they knew this wouldn't work. Only all of the nuclear devices in the world could propel the moon into the Mockingbird. So that's what they did. Well, almost everyone died. Scout didn't. And neither did the slave. They learned a lot about growing up that day and the human dignity that unites us all. And that is why Harper Lee won the Pulitzer. Thank you.